Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome to week 3 of our virtual ELA class. And this has been very different for me. I'm sure it's been very different for you, but you guys have been doing so well with making sure all of your work has been turned in. Click the thumbs up button if you really like turning it into Google Forms. I thought that Google Forms is one of the easiest ways to turn things in because you guys can only turn it in through one way. And it really helped me get a lot of responses. So thank you guys who turned in all of your work. I'm really proud of you. All right. So we are in lesson 3. All right. So let's go over a few things. Okay. Please excuse my raspy voice. My allergies are a little bad this week. As you know, it is allergy season. It's springtime. So the pollen is flowing. So it might sound a little more raspier than usual, but please bear with me. So before you get started on filling anything out on Google Forms, I want you to do your poetry quiz. Oh, Mister, why are we doing a quiz? Okay, listen, it's only 2 questions, so do not freak out. It's only a 2 question quiz, which means you put your name, your date, you read the quiz, you answer 2 questions. One of the questions is simply, what is the central idea? What is the main idea of this poem? What is the poem pretty much saying? You're gonna write that in about 3 or 4 sentences, and then list the end rhymes. And that's it. Pretty easy, not hard at all. All right. And then you get your quick and easy 10 points. All right. So you want to do that first thing. Um, then we go into our do now. Your do now is actually going to be written in the Google Classroom. So I can actually respond to you guys. I was reading your your journals and your do nows that you're writing in, and I was like, oh my God, I want to say something back. But it doesn't give me the opportunity to say something back when I am doing it through Google Forms. So I'm gonna have you guys do the writing part on Google Classroom. It seems like it's a lot more easier, so I'm gonna do it that way if you guys don't mind. Okay. All right. Vocabulary words of this week. Let's go over them, shall we? All right. Chastened. Chastened means disciplined or punished. She chastened her because she was not following the rules, right? Or when someone says you were being chastised because you were not listening or following the rules. My mother had a rule in her house. If I were not to do the dishes every night when she asked me to, I would be chastised. Before we went to bed, it was a rule that no dishes should be in the sink. No dishes should be in the sink by the time we went to bed. That's just not how my mother wanted to keep her home. And if we didn't do it, we were chastised. We were punished if we did it. If we brought home D, we were punished. There was no way we can bring in bad grades because we were chastised. Next word, suffering. The state of undergoing pain, distress, or hardship. Suffering. Right now, it feels as if we are suffering because of this virus. We are suffering because we can't go outside. We are suffering because we can't see our friends. But in reality, we are staying safe. So it wouldn't be a state of undergoing pain, but most definitely a state of hardship. So this can be a suffering, right? Suffering. Superior, higher in rank, status, or quality. If someone is superior, that means they are higher in status or quality. That means they're very important. They're superior, stronger than, better than, greater than, superior. Imaginative, having or showing creativity or having or showing creativity or inventiveness. So most of my scholars I know are very imaginative. Like, for example, some of you guys are so creative on your TikToks. I watch you, I see you being imaginative and making up your own TikTok moves and dances. You're being creative. Some of you guys were very creative with their drawing. Some of you guys are very creative with your dance moves. Some of you guys are very creative with your artwork. We see you. All right. Impressive. Impressive means evoking admiration through size, quality, or skill, grand, imposing, or awesome. Whoa, that was impressive. When my scholar came in the room with those cool beanies, you know who you are. UC Santa Barbara. When you guys started came in with those cool beanies, that was quite impressive. When Santa Cruz have their cool jokes in class when we're joking along about the work or what we want to do or what is boring, they're pretty impressive. Or UCLA when they're decorating the classroom for a holiday. Remember Thanksgiving holiday? That was fun. That was really impressive. Or Berkeley when they're coming to classroom quietly and well prepared and listening and doing everything they're supposed to do. That's quite impressive. Last but not least, the word is ashamed. Ashamed means embarrassed or guilty because of one's actions or characteristics or associations. So I remember one time, okay, I'm going to be completely honest with you, okay? One time my mother, she wanted me to go and get her something from the store and you know, she told me to bring a certain amount of change back. But on the other hand, I didn't bring that change back as much as she may have wanted it to be. She was upset, and I kind of feel ashamed for lying to her. Better yet, I have a better story. When my brother and I were growing up, we would go to church with our mom because we would go to church every Sunday with mama. And my mother gave us each $1 to put into the collection plate because every church service we would have to take an offering. And my brother, whenever they say, give the offering to help the needy, give the offering to help the homeless, give the offering, my brother would take the dollar out of the offering tray. Now, one thing I can say is if I did something like that, I would feel ashamed. On the other hand, I don't think my brother felt quite ashamed at all. So it's all about, how someone may see something, but that's so funny. Like it's all of, he was not ashamed at all whatsoever. It did not bother him at all. Okay. Mm. All right. So now we are going to move on to the next slide. Okay. So, oh. Okay. So I went already to the assignment, but I didn't want to go to the assignment yet. I wanted to show you guys the reading. I wanted to show you the reading that we're getting ready to do. So I'm going to do it. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's get to reading. So the central idea. So obviously, at the end of the reading, you're going to write the central idea, the author's purpose, and the schemas, and you're going to compile that all into one paragraph. But I want to read to you today. So we're going to be reading a story called The Bicycle. The Bicycle by Gary Soto. Okay. And as you're reading, be sure to annotate. Okay. Annotate with me. Like I said before, you do not have to read um you don't have to take pictures of every annotation you have. You literally can just read, annotate on your own to help you guide yourself so you can find, understand the answers and understand what the story is trying to tell you and be able to answer the questions and be able to make connections with the vocabulary words. But please annotate so you can be able to answer those questions. What is the central idea? What's the author's purpose? And what is the connections you may have had as you were reading along? Because I read those things, okay? Here we go, you guys. The Bike by Gary Soto. My first bike got me nowhere. Though the shadow I cast as I pedaled raced along my side, the leaves of bird-filled trees stirred a warm breeze and litter scudded out of the way. Our orange cats looked on from the fence, their tails up like antennas. I opened my mouth and the wind tickled in the back of my throat. When I squinted, I could see past the end of the block. My hair flicked like a black fire, and I thought I was pretty cool riding up and down the block, age 5, in my brother's hand me down shirt. Funny part, I want to add a little part. So, hand me downs. Me and my brother used to wear each other's clothes growing up. We didn't have that much money, so we weren't able to go and buy the freshest shoes or the freshest clothes and things like that. So, my brother and I would always take time, and if we were both the same size at one point. So, I would wear his clothes, and he would wear my clothes, and things like that. Going up and down the block was one thing, but taking the first curve out of sight of mom and house was another. I was scared of riding on Sarah Street. Mom said hungry dogs lived on that street and red anger lived in their eyes. Their throats were hard with extra bones from biting kids on bikes, she said, but I took the corner anyway. I didn't believe mom. Once she had said that pointing rainbows caused freckles, and after a rain had moved in and drenched the streets, after the sparrows flitted onto the lawn. A rainbow washed over the junkyard and reached the dark barrels of Coleman pickle. I stood at the window, looking out, amazed and devious, with devilish horns of my butch haircut standing up. From behind the window, I let my finger slowly uncurl like a bean plant rising from earth. I uncurled it, then curled it back and made a fist. I should remember this day, I told myself. I pedaled my squeaky bike around the curve into Sarah Street, but returned immediately. I braked and looked back at where I had gone. My face was hot, my hair sweaty, but nothing scary seemed to happen. The street had looked like our street. Parked cars, tall trees, a sprinkler hissing on a lawn, and an old woman bending over her garden. I started again, and again I rode the curve, my eyes open, as wide as they could go. After a few circles, eights, returned to our street. They ain't no dogs. I told myself. I began to think that maybe this was like one of those false rainbow warnings. I turned my bike around and rolled a few times into the front of the house just in case Mom was looking for me. I called out, "Hi, Mom. I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't gone anywhere." I saw her face in the window, curled paws high. She waved the dish towel at me. I waved back and she disappeared. And again, I tore my bike around the curve onto Sarah Street. I was free. The wind flicked my hair and cooled my ears. I did figure eights, rolled up the curbs and onto the lawns, bumped into the streets, and rolled onto the garden hose 100 times because I liked the way the water sprang up from the sprinkler after the pressure of my tires. I stood when I saw a kid my age come down the porch. His machinery for getting around the tricycle. "Big boy, big baby," I thought, and said, "You can run over my leg with your trike if you want." I lay down on the sidewalk, and the kid with fingers in his mouth said, "Okay." Okay, so he's testing him here. He backed up slowly like a tank in advance. I folded my arms behind my head and watched the jay swoop by with what looked like a cracker in his beak. When the tire climbed over my ankle and sparks of pain cut through my skin, I sat up quickly, my eyes flinging tears like a sprinkler. The boy asked, "Did it hurt?" "No," I said, almost crying. The kid could see that it did. He could see my face strain and hold back a sob, two tears dropping like dimes into dust. He pedaled away onto his bucket of bolts and tossed it onto the front lawn. He looked back before climbing the stairs and disappeared in the house. I pulled up my pants leg. My ankle was purple, large, and hot, and the skin was flaked in wood shavings. I patted spit onto it and laid it back down. I cried because no one around the tears staring up the lather of my dirty face. I rose to my feet and walked around, trying to make my ankle feel better. I got onto my bicycle and pedaled mostly with the good leg. A few tears still on my eyelashes evaporated as I rose. I realized I could live. I would live. I did nothing fancy on my way home. No figure eights, no wiggling, no handlebars, no hands on my pockets, no cross-eyed moments. Then the sudden bark of a dog scared me. Oh, he wished he would listen to his mom here. He would listen to his mom here, right? And my pants leg fed into the chain. The bike coming in an immediate stop, I tugged on at the cuff, gnashed and oiled black until the rupping sounds made me quit trying. I fell to the ground, bike and all, and let the tears lather my face again, and then dragged the bike home and my pants leg in the chain. There was nothing to do except lie in the dirt because Mom saw me round the corner from Sarah Street. I lay down when she came out with the belt, and I didn't blame the dog or that stupid rainbow. Now, listen, we do not condone violence here, and some parents do spank their children, and some parents don't, okay? This is just a cultural thing according to this text. I have a funny story, okay? So, as we can see, if we look through this story, we see that, Soto was pretty much saying, like, "Oh no, like, my mom told me not to go here, but it's no big deal." We all have a story like that. Okay, his mom told him, "Do not go to Sarah Street. Those dogs will eat you up. Do not go there. I promise you." But he was like, "No, no, 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 Mom. You're just trying to scare me, Mom. This is no big deal." And I have a story like that. When I was 13 years old, growing up in Oakland, California, there were two buses. There was the 11 bus and there was the 14 bus. Now I went to the school called Roosevelt Middle School, and the middle school was right in the middle of like the neighborhood. So the buses, you kind of had to walk to get to the school. So I got on the 11, and there was the 11 bus. Now the 11 bus took you down through the nice areas, took you through Chinatown, it took you through the nice areas of Oakland, and the 14 might not have taken you to the nice areas, but it was a straight shot to the school. So my mom told me, she gave me money. I was in eighth grade. She gave me money after my orthodontist appointment to get my braces tightened. She said, "All right, Malik, now I'm going to give you $20 so you can go get you some lunch, and then you can go get what you need to pay for school, so you can go meet your dad and all these other things, right? Your dad's family." When I tell you, my mom said, "Be sure to get on the 11 bus." Did I do that? I said, "Okay, mom, yes, I'll get on the 11. I'll get on the 11 bus." But I got on the 14. She didn't want me to be on the 14 because she wanted me to be safe. But I did it anyway. And guess what happened? That was the day where I got robbed on the bus. Yes, I got robbed on the bus. It was the scariest thing ever. I was like, wait a minute. The dude was like, hey, hey, you got $1? Dude was older than me, bigger than me. You got $1? And I said, um, yeah. And so me, not being smart, pulled out the wad of money I had. Maybe I had about $8 or $9 left from getting food. And I gave him $1. Him and his friends holding me back said, hey, we need to get all of that, actually. And they took all the money out of my pocket. I was scared. I was startled. I was nervous to actually get on the bus again. But the lesson I learned was to listen to my mama. When my mama tells me something, I need to listen. I can't be trying to do my own thing. I can't be trying to do what I think is right. I gotta do what's, I gotta listen to what my mother said. And I didn't listen. I did it. I did exactly what she told me not to do. And guess what happened? I had to deal with the repercussions of not listening. So just like this story, just like Gary, when his mother told him do not go on that street, when his mother told him do not go on Sarah Street. If you go on Sarah Street, there's all the dogs there, and the dogs are gonna bite you. And now he gets in this weird situation where this kid rolls over his leg. He tries to take a shortcut down Sarah Street, and the dogs get him. And his mom's like, "Oh, you're in trouble now." All right. So when we look at our writing reflection, I want you to think about that. What is the central idea? What is the main idea of the story that we're reading? And then what is the author's purpose? What does the author want you to know after reading this? And then what are some schemas? Now I gave you my own prior knowledge, my own connections, right? I connected it to my life. I did text to self. I connected this text to a situation I was in when I was in eighth grade when I got robbed on the bus because I didn't listen to my mom about taking a different bus. But what are some connections you have? Have you ever been in a situation where you didn't listen to your moms or your dad or your grown up? Where they told you to do something but you didn't do it? Okay? So you can answer this on the Google Forms, and I'm going to be looking for your responses. All right? You guys have a great day. Love you for real. Have a good one. Bye.